Hey guys, I'm back with the second episode of this series. I guess it's a series. Does 3 videos equate to a series? Whatever. It's Hill Climb Racing again, part 2. So if you haven't seen my first video, then I suppose you don't have to, but it's probably logical to watch my first video first, second video second. I don't know, you're a big boy, you can figure out chronological order. Okay, where were we? We had a pretty rubbish version of the game going. We had something which vaguely represents a car driving on something which vaguely represents terrain. So congratulations, Evan, you get an F for effort. Okay, let's fix this sorry excuse for a game. So the first thing I want to do is smooth out the terrain a little bit. This should be really simple, nice and easy, trying to ease into this episode. Currently, our terrain is built by generating a bunch of points at regular intervals with random heights and connecting them to create a shape. To create a bit of a smoother terrain, we can use Perlin noise instead of just random numbers. I honestly can't be bothered properly explaining this, and the coding train has an amazing video on using Perlin noise to create like terrain and shit. It's exactly what you want if you want to know how this shit works. Anyway, all you really need to know for this is using magic, Perlin noise generates points which create a randomized wave sort of shape. Ideal for what we want. And here we go. For you can still drive. Awesome, well this makes it easier. As you can see, with just a bit of tweaking, the Perlin noise creates the terrain we're looking for. Excellent, moving on. Next up, I wanted to make the car actually look like the Jeep in the game, not just a box with some wheels. I actually didn't record this section because I'm bloody useless sometimes, but by now I'm sure you can believe me when I tell you that this took me f***ing ages. Unfortunately, the main issue was that I forgot the very first rule of Box 2D. You don't with concave shapes. So yeah, after screaming into an abyss for a solid 20 minutes out of pure frustration, I finally remembered that Box 2D chucks a hissy fit whenever it's dealing with concave shapes. So here's the final Jeep design. This is actually the last time we're going to change the shape of the car. We'll make it look a bit prettier later, but the shape's going to remain the same. So you better fucking like it. Piece of cake. With that done, let's move on to something a little more challenging. In the game, there's this little dude driving the cars, and he bobbleheads around and stuff. So we're gonna be doing that. This really should be just as simple as attaching a rectangle and a circle to the car. But by now you probably realized what should be just as simple means. So it's not. It's just never that easy. Okay, here we go, and nothing. Oh no, there's just the head. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Nope, nope. It's just driving on his head. Okay, fixing that, and go. Okay, oh, it's coming. Ah! What the hell is that? Oh, it's wigging out. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, so to understand what is going on here, I'm gonna need to introduce a new Box 2G joint because I got a bit too ambitious and decided to do something a little bit special. So I've only been using the Revolute joint up until now, which allows the wheels to spin and stuff, just basically allows two things to rotate around each other, like the name suggests. The new joint is called the distance joint. You can think of this just as a spring. It tries to keep the two bodies at a constant distance. So if they're too close, it'll push them apart, and if they're too far apart, it'll pull them together. So to make the person, I attach the torso to the car using a Revolute joint, which allows it to pivot at the hips, and attach the head to the body using a distance joint, thinking it would look something like a human, not the demonic abomination we just created. I was trying to have the neck be a little bit elastic, a little bit bouncy, a little bit bobblehead-like. I was trying to do something a bit more advanced. I was trying to be creative, but obviously the gods of Box 2D were like, no! Slap me with whatever the hell that was. So I'm sorry, I was getting confident, it won't happen again. So the reason the head fully came off and then chased us until it rammed itself up the car's ass, which is a sentence I never thought I'd have to say, never mind have to explain to you guys. But yeah, the reason it went all Hancock, the spring holding the head to the body was far too weak. So the forces pulling it towards the body weren't strong enough to keep up with the car, so we just kind of drove off without it. That is until we slowed down and it caught up, and then it came back with a vengeance. So to fix the problem, I could just strengthen up the spring, but that would probably lead to its own problems. So I just decided, hey, let's not mess around with any fancy ass joints. Let's just keep it at Revolute joint. So I just attached the head to the body using a Revolute joint, allowing it to kind of pivot at the neck. And yeah, it works like a charm. I'm kidding, it didn't. It never works like a charm. It's Box 2D. It's never that easy. So whatever, here it is. Here's what happened. Man, I don't know how to fix this. Let's just bring the head a little bit closer to the body. It's still shit. You know, it would probably be more surprising to me if that actually fixed it. Okay, so one of the many problems with this is that the head and body are far too heavy. They're currently about as heavy as the car, and I'm no biologist. People aren't as heavy as cars are, so we need to change that up a bit. This means that when the head and body are moving around, their momentum is seriously affecting the car. It's like he'll rock back and tip the entire car up. So yeah, let's fix that. Let's try making the person a little smaller. Maybe that'll help. Oh, I love it. He's at the perfect height to get absolutely hammered by the windscreen. He must be rocking one hell of a concussion by about now. Okay, so I finally got something which kind of looks decent happening. The person is held up using a distance joint between the car and person, and also has a distance joint between the body and the top of the person's head. Remember, distance joints work kind of like springs, so it's keeping them roughly in that area. All of this combines to give something which looks passable. So here she is. Mwah! Perfect. I also remove all these joints if the person touches the ground, which means the person will just instantly die if they touch the ground. This is my favorite one. Ready? All right, ready? Here we go. It's just driving along. And nothing wrong with that. That's perfect. That's exactly how I want it. And if you want to, once that's done, you can play soccer with the head. Go! Okay, let's tackle a subject I've been avoiding a little bit, and you know that's bad, seeing how much I've struggled with everything else. It's suspension. Woo! Scary shit. But don't worry, I have a plan. So currently we've got wheels connected to the car using revolute joints. This is great because it allows the wheels to spin and even has motor capabilities built in, so what's the problem? Well, it also fixes the wheel's position relative to the car, so that means we can't use them for suspension, because the whole point in suspension is that the wheels need to move separately to the car, just a little bit. So we can't use revolute joints. Well, not only revolute joints. My mind straight away thought of distance joints, because they're kind of like springs and real suspension uses springs. So we need to somehow combine both distance and revolute joints. And I was pondering this under an apple tree one day, just thinking about how I could combine these. Then as an apple fell from the tree and struck my head, it came to me. We could add another body with a distance joint connecting it to the car, so it's like it's connected by a spring, and then connect the new body to a wheel using a revolute joint. That way we could have the motor controls and have the wheels spin while effectively attaching the wheels to a spring connected to the car. But that's not it. Oh no, you see I'm a veteran now. I live and breathe Box 2D. I know what that jerk is thinking. If I did that, then the wheels would be pushed around and end up to the side of the car. We need to limit the wheels to remain directly beneath the car. And how do we do this? We could add more distance joints coming in an angle, but they might not be strong enough. We need something that locks the object below it. Aha! Type of joint in Box 2D called a prismatic joint, which locks the body to a single axis relative to the body it's connected to. This should prevent the wheels from moving around the side. Excellent. And if we put all these together, we can create some... Dude, stop! What is it? You're ruining my Einstein moment. I thought it was Isaac Newton. Not important. There are wheel joints. What? In Box 2D, there is something known as a wheel joint. No. It handles everything for you. The suspension, the limited axis, everything. Fuck! So yeah, it turns out there's something called a wheel joint. I only just became aware of this. Like, literally only just now. Like, the time of recording audio for this video, I only just found out this was a thing. Like, game's done. Spoiler alert. Game is fully finished. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And there were wheel joints this whole time. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ignore the fact that wheel joints exist, pretend my solution is brilliant, and yeah, we're just gonna continue as usual. So yeah, this is what happens when you put my joint concoction together. It's awful. If only there was a joint which could do this for you. That would be so much easier. That would save like days worth of work. With a bunch of tweaks, I finally got something which would work like a wheel joint would work. Yeah, so that's kind of disheartening. Moving on. So the next thing I want to tackle is having the car spin kind of in the air with the controls. In the game, the left and right arrow keys control the motor, but it also controls the tilt of the car. So what we're going to need to do is just apply a small torque to the car whenever the arrow keys are pressed. And you know this is gonna turn out terribly. Like there's no surprise value anymore. Whatever. Here it is. Here are all my attempts. Yeah, the main issue was that when you apply a torque to an object in Box 2D, it's not just like an instantaneous force. It's like a constant additive torque. So if you apply torque to an object once, it will keep spinning forever because that a torque remains on it. You see, I was applying torque every single frame that the arrow keys were pushed down, which means the torque would just add up until the car was spinning faster and faster and faster and faster, and I had no idea what was going on. Interrupting your program to give you breaking news. The JavaScript version of Box 2D does not support wheel joints. I repeat, does not support wheel joints. Rejoice, ladies and gentlemen. I did not completely waste days of my life. It's a good day. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, as you were. Continue. God, this video's all over the place. All right, now we're talking. It's actually looking pretty good. We're finally getting somewhere. Let's make it look even better. We're gonna be drawing up some sprites, ladies and gentlemen. You can see my artistic talent from behind the scenes. So we're gonna need a wheel, a head, and the car body. Okay, so now we got some sexy looking sprites done up. Let's add them to the game. Nope. 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 Nah. No. 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 There we go. There it is. Okay, we've finally done it. We've finally created the game. One more thing to do is to make the ground look pretty, and boom. Okay, and we're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been one hell of a ride. As you can imagine, my mental state has been through hell and back for this, so you better enjoy it. But no, I am super happy with actually how it turned out. And I know I've been ragging on Box 2D a lot, but the only reason it's so hard to use is because it's free and it's so incredibly powerful. And so, like, I've got a lot of a love-hate relationship with Box 2D. And yeah, so don't hesitate from trying it. Just, I mean, it will f you up some special, but, yeah, now we've got the easy bit, the bit that I actually used to doing, which is adding the AI to it, so that'll be fun, so look out for that video, yeah, Evan out.